we did over here that if the ovum is not fertilized, then there is menstruation. The starting of the menstruation is called as menarche, and the end of the menstruation is called as menopause. So we did these two terms, menarche and the menopause. Menarche is the starting of the menstruation, and you have menopause as the ending of the menstruation. In the case of female, the release of the ovum, it continues up to the age of 45 to 50 years. After that, it stops. So, female, in the female, the age, the reproductive cycle, the age of reproduction is from the age of 11 to 50 years. After that, the female is not reproductive. She cannot give birth to the young one. Okay. So she is not reproductive also. Whereas in the case of male, the production of the sperms, it continues throughout the life. In the case of male, the sperms will continue to produce throughout their life. Okay. So this is done. And now we will see reproductive health. These are the three topics we will see today. With that, this chapter will get over. We have to do reproductive health, STDs, and population control or birth control. Population regulation, or in the same name you also have as birth control.
We even have contraceptive methods, right, sir?
Yeah,
Contraceptive methods.
yeah, we will discuss about all the methods which are possible. Okay, see, now if just we observe that in the case of female, once there is pregnancy, once the implantation is done, okay, after the fertilization, the next process was implantation. Okay, so once the implantation is done, that means once the embryo is implanted in the uterus, so that stage is called as pregnancy. The woman will be called as pregnant, and after that there will be no ovulation. There will not be release of any ovum till the embryo is there. Okay, till the embryo is there, so till that time there will not be any ovulation. No ovum will be released, and of course there will not be any menstruation also. No menstruation will occur when the fertilization has occurred. When the implantation has occurred, so there will not be any menstruation. Okay. So this point also we have discussed that the missing of the menstruation is an indication that the woman is pregnant. If there is no menstruation, it is an indication that the woman is pregnant, and then of course fertilization and implantation has been done. There is implantation. Now, if this process continues, once the female gives birth to the young one after the period of 9 months, so within that period of 9 months, whatever nutrients were required, those nutrients they were provided by the female body to the young one. Okay. The young one, it obtains all the nutrients from the female body by a specialized tissue called placenta. So a specialized tissue in the female, that is placenta, it provides all the nutrients from the female body. Okay. So this gives a worse impact on the female body. It leaves an impact on the health of the female body as she was providing the nutrients to the baby. So her body lacks nutrients now. Her body requires more amount of nutrients and some amount of muscle relaxation. So therefore, a female needs some gapping or some period of time before before going on for the next pregnancy, before conceiving for the next pregnancy, she needs some time. Okay, so how can one provide a time as just after giving birth to the baby, then again ovulation will start, and again ovulation will start, again she will go on having the menstruation, and the process will continue. So she can give birth to the young one just after giving out to the one birth. If suppose she was pregnant, she gave birth to the young one, then after that she can become pregnant again. She will become pregnant again after some time. Okay, so maybe about 10 days, 15 days, she will again become a pregnant. So how to stop about it? Since she needs, so this point we have understood about the reproductive health, that the female body, it needs some resting time. She cannot continuously give birth to the young one. Okay, it will have a bad impact on her health. Her health will be affected. Okay, everyone. So everyone has understood about the reproductive health of the female.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, we will see how can we have the birth control. What are the different birth control methods? By what methods can we control the birth of the young? So to control the birth, we have different steps by which we shall stop the ovum from. Yeah, Keshuva Charvik, what happened? Medha, Ansini, Manan, all your cameras went off.
One second.
Okay. See, so we need some methods to control the birth. Okay. We will see here what are the different methods of birth control. How can we control the birth? So, Rene, why do we need to have a birth control?
So the birth control, it like almost like decreases the possibility of a woman having a baby.
No, why do we need birth control?
Also to like prevent, like, so isn't it to prevent having a baby?
Yeah, so why? Why do we want to prevent a baby? Tanishka, what is the need of birth control?
So, because once a woman has a baby, she needs some time to recover, and if she has another baby without proper resting period, then her health will be spoiled. So, people usually prefer to use birth control methods to make sure that does not happen.
Okay, so that was a very good answer to the question. I can still see some of the cameras on. Dhanunjay, Medha Hansini, keep your camera on. See, so in the birth
So,
control, yes,
sir, can I add a few points?
yes,
So, we can make use of these methods to even stop overpopulation in the country or society, and to like stop the different sex ratios, Like females are less, males are more, or males are less and females are more. It should be balanced.
Okay. So generally we do not go for the second option. Okay. That is certainly illegal to have the check of the sex of a baby before the birth. That's going to be certainly illegal. You can't check the
Yes.
sex of a baby. Okay. So birth control methods, they are necessary to regulate the population. They are necessary to have a good health of the female. So
To
these are the
stop
two important
sexually
reasons.
transmitted
Yes.
diseases. Sir, to stop sexually transmitted diseases.
No, you do not need birth control to stop STDs. Okay, STDs are a different matter. Okay, there are some methods which are helpful for controlling both STDs as well as birth control. There are certain methods. So see, in the different birth control methods, you have chemical methods, barrier methods, you have chemical methods, barrier methods, and surgical methods. Okay. See, all these methods, they are based on the concept that fertilization will occur only when fertilization will occur only when the sperm comes in contact of the ovum. So most of these birth control methods, they are aimed at preventing the sperm from coming in contact with the ovum. Okay. So how we can prevent the sperm from coming in contact with the ovum? These all of them, they are based on that only, that principle. There are certain other methods, other ways, like even after the fertilization has occurred. So then also there are certain ways that we can stop the implantation. Okay. If we have the secretion of mucus in the uterine wall, so that the embryo which is being developing after the fertilization, it should not get implanted. And if it does not get implanted, so obviously there will not be any pregnancies. Okay, so there are certain, but those are only under the chemical methods. Under the chemical methods, this is one of the method. That first method is that you can stop the sperm from coming in contact with the ovum.
Sir, then where do we consider the natural method?
Okay, see, natural methods generally include that the sperm should not enter the vagina. Okay. The
Right.
sperms are not allowed to all enter the vagina. So if they do not enter the vagina, obviously there will not be any fertilization.
Right, sir.
Okay. So that's why the natural methods are not discussed. Naturally, if the sperms are not going to enter the vagina, so how will the fertilization occur? Not occur. So that is another method. Some of the books, they give that as the natural method, in which the sperms, they will be ejected out of the body, but they will not enter the vagina. Now, in the chemical methods, first we will see the chemical methods. In the chemical methods, there are certain chemicals which work on the basis, like they can bring about hormonal changes. Either they will bring about some hormonal changes which will stop the ovulation, or it may affect the movement of the sperms. Okay, so it will bring a hormonal change, or they can act as spermicides. Spermicide means killing of the sperms. Okay, or the third one I said, like the mucus lining, increasing the mucus lining of the uterus so that no implantation will occur. So chemical methods means taking on certain medicines or certain medications or drugs which can these medications or drugs, they can stop the sperm from entry or coming in contact with the ovule. Okay, so this one is clear about the chemical methods.
Yes, sir.
Then the next one is surgical methods. So in the surgical methods, what happens? In the surgical methods, there are two types of surgeries which can be performed. In the case of surgical methods, either there are two steps, either it can be vasectomy or it can be tubectomy. So what is vasectomy? Vasectomy is in the case of male. Vasectomy is performed in the male and tubectomy is performed in the case of female. So if you observe over here, see the diagram. Here, in the case of male, the vas deferens can be cut. The vas deferens is cut from here and folded. So it will cut from here, it will get folded into both the directions and tied with the help of a thread. Okay, so the cutting of the vas deferens and tying it, it will not allow the sperm to move out of the testis, and it will not move into the urethra. Right? So this process is vasectomy. Cutting of the vas deferens is called as vasectomy. Then similar procedure can be applied in the case of female by the cutting of the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube can be cut over here and folded and tied. So in that case, if any sperm is entering the vagina, it will enter the uterus, but it will not be able to reach the ovule. Okay. So if the sperm is not able to reach the ovule, then will fertilization occur if the sperm is not able to reach the ovule through the fallopian tube? So in this way, the tubectomy also prevent the coming in contact of the sperms with the ovule. The vasectomy, it also prevents the entry of the sperms. Okay. Now see, just we have done vasectomy and tubectomy, which come under the surgical methods. Then you have the barrier methods. Barrier methods, they include the use of certain barriers to prevent the entry of the sperms or they stop the sperms by creating some barrier. Okay, so how do they work? Suppose if you have this so now in the case of barrier method, there are various options like use of diaphragms. Either the diaphragms can be used, so there are two types of diaphragm that can be used. Either it can be used by the male or it can be used by the female. Okay, a male can also use a diaphragm. So if the male uses a diaphragm, the sperms will be contained in the diaphragm, and hence they will not be allowed to move inside the female body. They will be contained in the diaphragm only. A female can also use a diaphragm. So which will stop the entry, or which will contain all the sperms and will not let the sperms to enter into the fallopian tube or enter into the uterus. Okay. So in this barrier method, we try to create a barrier between the sperms and the ovum. There is another method in this barrier method only, that is use of copper T. A copper T. So by using a copper T, that is a T-shaped structure which is made of copper, something like this. A T-shaped structure is made of copper, which is implanted in the female body in the uterus. Okay. So in the uterus, a T-shaped copper is implanted, so that if any sperm is entering the uterus, it will get blocked by this T-shape and it will not be able to enter into the fallopian tube. This is another method. Now, this
Sir,
is
why
not
copper, sir?
why copper. It's almost in non-reactive.
Right, okay, sir.
Okay, so that's why it's used, and it can be removed when wanted. Suppose the female after 6 months or 2 years, the female wants to have pregnancy. Okay, so when the female wants to be pregnant, then in that case, she can visit the doctor and get this copper T removed. Whereas the surgical methods, they are the permanent methods. Permanent method means, suppose if a male has performed vasectomy, so do you think that that male can reproduce again? That male can give birth to the young one again? That's not possible. Once a vasectomy is done, so then it's not possible to again reconnect. Okay. Similarly, if in the case of female, tubectomy is done, so it's not possible to reconnect it again and let women become fertile again. The woman will not be able to give birth to the young one anymore. Okay. So these are permanent solutions. That means it will not be, if you have decided that no more children are required, you do not require them, then you can go for the surgical methods. Okay. Otherwise, we use the barrier methods or the copper T, which are successful. And at any time, if you want to conceive a baby, so these can be removed. Copper T can be removed, and it's not surgery. It just takes a few minutes only, and it can be removed. Okay. So understood this topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see the small topic next, that is the STDs. So STDs are sexually transmitted diseases. These are sexually transmitted diseases. Like there are certain diseases which are transferred from one person to another by physical contact. Okay, but these diseases, they are not transmitted through physical contact, they are transmitted through sexual contact. If a person tries to have a sexual contact with a person who is having a disease, okay, so that person is most likely to have the disease. Again, the disease is most likely to be transmitted from one person to the other by the sexual methods. That means if one person is interacting or having sex with a person who is having STDs, so it can be transmitted over there. The different types of STDs, they can be either viral STDs, or they can be bacterial STDs, or there can be fungal STDs. Okay. In the case of viral STDs, we have studied about HIV, human immunovirus. In the case of bacterial STDs, also you have studied some. Can you name any of the bacterial STDs?
Menorrhea.
Gonorrhea, syphilis. So gonorrhea, it is a bacterial one. Viral is AIDS, not HIV. HIV is the name of the causative organism. That's a virus. So it is caused by the disease is AIDS. AIDS is the disease which stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So can you tell what are the symptoms of AIDS?
Mouth ulcers.
Ulcers?
Those white color patches will be there, right, sir?
No.
On the tongue. We call it oral HIV, something, right, sir?
See, when a person has AIDS, AIDS means it's a immune disorder. So
Low
the
immunity levels.
low immunity, the person will start becoming ill most frequently. And if any disease comes, suppose the person starts having cough, so he will not be cured by that cough. The cough will become incurable. Okay. So any disease he starts suffering from, that disease becomes almost incurable.
What about warts, sir? That also comes under viral, right, sir?
Yeah, warts. Warts. Gonorrhea. Then you have syphilis.
Sir, what is warts exactly?
Mm. They generally appear on the skin. All these are different STDs. How can one prevent from STD? Certain STDs are curable and certain STDs are non-curable. So how can one prevent from STDs? Yes, Srilasya, how can one prevent from STDs? Yeah, by using diaphragm.
By avoiding the sexual intercourse, sir.
By avoiding the by avoiding the sexual intercourse with a person who has an STD. Okay, or to be
Right.
safe, the person should use diaphragms. Right. So with this, we complete this chapter. We will discuss a few questions. We will discuss a few questions from this chapter, and then I'll be taking any doubts. So, are there any doubts from this chapter? Whatever we have studied. Any doubts over here? No one? Sir, you any doubts?
No, sir.
No. Okay, fine. So now we move to the question answers of this chapter. Okay, so you have a questions here. How is the process of pollination different from fertilization? Yes, how is the pollination different from fertilization?
Sir, pollination is when the pollen grains are transferred from the male reproductive part, that is the anther, to the stigma. Whereas fertilization is when there is fusion of the female and male gametes to form zygote.
Okay. And so we can also say that in the case of pollination, there is no we can say fertilization occurs after pollination, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the role of the seminal vesicles and the Okay, someone was having doubt regarding the glandular secretion question in exams.
Yes.
Who was having doubt?
Sir, Shasi, sir.
Okay. See, the question was a little bit made confusing. Okay, by using the words glandular. Glandular secretions mean the secretions of the glands, and which glands secrete them. Those are the seminal vesicles and the prostate glands. Okay, so that option was correct for glandular secretions. right?
Yes.
Okay. So how is the role of seminal vesicles and prostate glands? What is the role of seminal? This question is important as it has been spotted in many times board exams as write the functions of seminal vesicles, prostate glands, and scrotum. So these functions you should be able to remember. Remember the functions of seminal vesicles, prostate glands, and you have to remember the functions of seminal vesicles, functions of the prostate glands, and the functions of scrotum, right? Okay, so what are the changes seen in girls at the time of puberty? Yeah, what changes are observed in girls at the time of puberty?
Their menstruation starts at the time of puberty.
Okay, menstruation, start of the menstruation, and
Darkening of the nipples.
yeah,
Darkening of the nipples.
cracking of.
Darkening of the nipples.
Okay, so
And the
see, we
breast
do not get
enlargement.
better. We see better word is we say that the appearance of mammary glands. Okay, appearance of mammary glands is seen in the case of female. Body changing its shape, the changes
Yes.
in shape of the body.
Acne due to puberty.
Yeah,
Acne due to puberty.
at the
Sir, acne, sir.
But that is
acne.
common, right, sir?
Yeah, those are the characteristics. Appearance of acne or pimples appear on the body. You can say that the sweat and activity of the sweat and sebaceous glands appear. Then appearance of hair in the pubic region, that is also symptoms at the age of puberty. But the main for the female, you can say appearance of the mammary glands, and then
Body shape.
ovulation occurs and menstruation. How does embryo get nourishment inside the mother body? How does the embryo get nourishment inside the mother body?
Through the placenta, it provides oxygen and nutrients.
Yeah, through the placenta. If a woman is using a copper T, will it help in protecting her from STD?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The answer is no, it will not protect her from STDs. Okay. Use of copper T will not protect a woman from STDs.
It only stops the passage of sperms.
Yeah, it only stops the passage of the sperms. Only the diaphragm methods are helpful in protecting the STDs. Okay. So asexual reproduction takes place through the budding in
East.
Yeast.
okay. Which of the following is not a part of the female reproductive system in human beings?
Vas deferens.
Okay. Vas deferens. The anther contains
Pollen grains.
anther contains pollen grains. Okay. What are the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction? Manan? Manan, what are the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction?
I don't know.
No answer? Manan?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Okay. Dhananjay, what is the importance or what are the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction?
Like greater survival rate.
Yeah, they increase the chances of survival.
And
Increase the chances of survival.
more variations so that they can be identified easily.
Sir, and also unlike regeneration, which is a part of sexual reproduction, which if a mistake happens, then only then reproduction will be taken place.
See, in the case of asexual reproduction is it is helpful in continuing the generation of the same type. The amount of or the chances of variations which are created, they are very less in the case of asexual reproduction. As the environment is changing continuously, so the chances of variations are there only in the case of sexual reproduction, and hence the chances of survival also increase in the case of sexually reproducing organisms. Okay.
Sir,
What are
also,
the
sir, there are very less chances of going extinct of that particular organism or species.
yeah, yeah. So there are less chances of an organism becoming extinct as the environment is changing. So they are also changing. What are the functions performed by the testes in the human beings? So what functions are you? What are the functions performed by the testes?
Sir, it is the main reproductive part of a male and it helps in secretion of male gametes.
It helps in the formation of the male gametes. And any other thing?
Sir, it also secretes hormones.
Yeah, it secretes the hormone. Which hormone?
Sir, testosterone.
Yeah, it also secretes the hormone testosterone. Why does the menstruation occur? This will be answered by Monish. Monish, why does menstruation occur?
Can you repeat your question?
Question number 6. Why does menstruation occur?
So when the egg is not fertilized and it is released by the ovule, the menstruation occurs like spontaneous.
Okay. You know the answer, but you are not able to put it in words. Hasnita, can you tell? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hasnita, can you tell?
Yes, sir. When the ovum does not get fertilized, the endometrium starts disintegrating and it comes out of the vagina in the form of blood and mucus.
Okay. So before that, you also have to state when the ovum is released, the endometrium walls of the uterus, they prepare themselves for the implantation. They become richly supplied with the blood vessels. Okay. So if the ovulation does not occur, the endometrium walls start disintegrating and ovum along with the blood comes out through the vagina. This is your menstruation. Then question number 7, you can draw a label diagram of the longitudinal section of the flower. We have already done. What are the different methods of contraception? Shravani, what are different methods of contraception?
There are chemical ways.
Yeah, chemical ways and chemical ways and there are chemical methods, surgical methods and
Listen, I don't
chemical methods, surgical methods, and you have barrier methods.
Yes, sir.
Then you have to explain them also. How does
So in
how are
barrier methods, the property comes in place.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an
property also.
example.
Yeah, it's also there. How are the modes of reproduction different in unicellular and multicellular organisms? So how are the modes different in unicellular organism and in multicellular organism?
Unicellular are mainly asexual and multicellular, especially the complex organisms, they are sexually reproducing.
Okay. Unicellular organisms, they generally use asexual modes of reproduction. Out of them, they all mainly use either binary fission or multiple fission or budding. Okay. These are the three methods, whereas the multicellular organisms, they have a number of methods, either for asexual reproduction as well as the sexual reproduction. Then how does reproduction help in providing stability to population? Dhanunjay will tell. Dhanunjay, how does reproduction help in providing stability to population of species?
It like reproduction helps in providing stability to population because so that the population does not extend.
So how will it prevent? How will it prevent the population from becoming extinct? You have to explain that point.
Sir, I don't know exactly.
Okay. Rene, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you answer this question?
So
How does reproduction?
reproduction can help in providing stability to population of species by like giving birth to new individuals and I guess having the ratio of like mortality rate and the birth rate be stable.
So first thing you have to discuss that all the no organism is immortal. All the organisms are going to die. Okay. So since all the organisms are going to die, so therefore there should be reproduction so as to maintain the number of organisms which died out, and hence reproduction will help in establishing or stability of the population. So Rene was quite correct. You just need to add a few points to it. Then what could be the reasons for adopting contraceptive methods?
But not transmission of the diseases while the sexual reproduction.
Yeah.
Not transmitting the diseases of while
Okay. So okay, stopping the STDs. This is one way, and this is the one thing: stopping STDs and taking care of the female. Okay. Having a check on the population.
yes.
Family
Yes.
planning. Family planning. Okay. These are the certain things because of which we need to adopt contraceptive methods. We need a family plan. We do not want to produce kids so on and on. Okay. So with this, we have completed this complete chapter. Let us see if there are more questions. We'll discuss that. And so in your exam, you will be having only this chapter, right? For the Saturday exam, you will have only this chapter. Okay, what are the post-fertilization events that occur in a flower?
So the
Sir,
petals fall off.
Yeah, what are the post-fertilization events?
So the petals they fall off.
Petals fall off and
the seed of the future plant, they start developing,
they
like the
start
radical
developing.
and the plumule can be
So,
seen.
which part of the flower develops into the seed?
The very ovule.
Ovule.
So the ovums.
The ovules. The ovules
Ovules.
develop into seeds. And
Formation of fruits.
And formation of fruits. And which part develops into fruit?
The seed?
Ovary,
No,
sir.
not
So the ovary.
ovary. I told you these points are important. You should note them down. You should keep them in mind that which part is developing. Your ovules, they develop into seeds. Ovules develop into seed. Ovary develop into fruit. And petals shed off. Petals fall off. So these are the things which happen after fertilization. Okay.
Sir, even the future shoot and root, right? Sir?
Hmm?
Even the future shoot and root.
Future shoot and root, they are formed from the seed. Okay, when the seed grows, so it is the radical part develops into the root, the plumule part develops into the shoot, and till the plumule part comes out of the ground into the form of green leaves, till that time it obtains its nutrients from the cotyledons. And once the green part comes out of the surface, it is able to perform photosynthesis, then there is no need of the cotyledon. So cotyledons store nutrients for the radical and the plumule. So just discuss quickly these questions. How does binary fission differ from multiple fission? And now this will be answered. Just wait. Mehak, can you answer? How does binary fission differ from multiple fission?
One minute. So in
Okay.
binary fission,
Hmm.
a single cell is divided into multiple cells into cells, and in multiple fission, single cell is divided into many cells. Example for binary fission is amoeba, and multiple fission is plasmodium.
So in binary fission, how many daughter cells you have?
So two daughter cells.
Okay, in binary fission, you have two daughter cells, and in the multiple fission, you have a number of daughter cells, not limited. Okay. Then, how will an organism be benefited if it reproduces through spores? So, what are the benefits of spore formation?
Can I say so?
Yes.
A large number of spores are produced in one sporangium, and thus several offsprings are produced, which in turn produces even more offsprings.
Okay. So it is the number of offsprings which are produced.
And
Okay.
also, sir, they don't have to compete for the nutrients because they are spread all over through the agents.
Yeah, they are spread all over through the ages. So they do not have to compete for the nutrients. Then another thing is over there you can add on. The spores are released only when there are favorable conditions. Okay. Only when there are favorable conditions, then only spores are released. Okay. Then can you think of reasons why more complex organism cannot give rise to new individuals through regeneration?
Sir, it's because uh, you know in a complex organism there are organs, and organs have organ systems which are interconnected, and they are put together to well coordinate and perform different functions.
Specialized functions.
Okay, all the cells they have their specialized functions. So not all the cells are capable of reproducing into young organisms. Hence, the process of regeneration is not possible for the multicellular organ. Okay. Then in case why vegetative propagation is practiced for growing some types of plants, it is because it is easy to get the similar organism. We want to have the similar taste and flavor, so that is why we use vegetative propagation for growing some types of plants. We want their exact copies, so that is why we use vegetative propagation. Then why is DNA copying an essential part of the process of reproduction, as it is the DNA copying process by which the new individuals, they will be having the exact characteristics as of the parent generation. DNA carries the hereditary information, therefore DNA copying is an important process. Okay. So bye everyone. In the test you will have this chapter. In the next class we will be starting with the new chapter.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, bye everyone.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Subhash.
Thank you, sir.